So good evening to everybody, and this is weekly update number 48. And as you can see, the weather's changing slightly. It's a bit more sunny at the night time now. Normally when I do this, it's dark, so that's great news. So we've got a lot going on today, a lot. Check it out, weekly update number 48. Well, yeah, weekly update number 48, and it's been a very busy week. This month generally is quite a busy month. Now I'm going to open the comments up here. Here we go in the chat and see how many people. Got one person watching at the moment. That's cool. I completely forgot to announce that we were going to be doing the live, to be honest with you. I had my son's birthday yesterday, which was absolutely hectic, and I just had everything prepared and went, oh, I didn't even announce we were going to be doing it today at past, but never mind. We'll try and keep it to the half hour as well. So what's been happening, first of all, with the visas and residency in Spain? Well, it's been, again, a very busy week with the visas and the residency. And I actually got out of the, this is my nanny. This is my mum's. You're not being allowed in? Lara, yeah. Could you let your nanny in, please? Yeah. You have locked her out now. Sorry. That's all right. Didn't think she thought she was going to be live on YouTube there. As you can see in the background, we've got this lovely fiery background because they're outside with the fire pit having a chat. I said I'm just going to go live, yeah, that was. I didn't realise Lara had actually locked her out.
Sorry,
so there
I was
we go.
making a cup of tea.
That's all right. You carry on. I'll have a cup of tea if you're making one there, please. Okay, yes, this is what happens with lives. Right, so anyway, I'll have a cup of tea. We'll let Nanny in and we'll carry on with what's been going on with residency. Dear me. So first of all, I got out and about this week, and I actually got out to pick up some TIE cards. That's the easy job, really, to be honest with you. But it was lovely. So I just want to show you these photos. I did publish them on Facebook as well. So that's me, Amanda, Tim and Sandra, all EU family members, and evidently we've done the EU residency before. We then apply for the EU family members card, and then when it's approved we go and get the TIE card. And we had a nice cold and chilly day out there in Malaga, and after that I met up with Jacqueline and Terry. There we go. We've got their NLVs. There we are. And actually, I think I've messed up here. Who was it? I can't remember now who got the EU family members and the NLVs. No, so this was Susan also, who got her EU family members. I think I missed it. I've got some of the wrong way around, but you'll have to excuse me. And also we've got this fantastic, and I wanted to show this photo of Steve. Now Steve, right at the end of the year, got his plates for his lovely Ford Globetrotter. It was brand new when he bought it in, an absolute fantastic vehicle to drive around Spain. And that was a new experience for us because we had to basically claim the VAT back in Spain, but initially pay it. It was when you've got a new vehicle, an absolutely brand new vehicle in Spain, it's a different process to if it's a second-hand vehicle, but we know how to complete that process now. So if you do buy a new vehicle abroad, the main thing is to make sure that you don't pay double VAT, because you don't have to if you buy it within Europe. And here we are. This is also this is Victoria this week over in Cartagena with Heather, Jeremy, Nick and Janet. And we've got some lovely photos. We're trying to get more photos this year. Again, another cold day up there. What's it been like in your area, guys? It's been chilly. I think we need to get Victoria a jacket, really, rather than just a polo shirt for this time of year, don't you? Hey? And the last photo we've got to show you of people this week out and about, Jeanette and Alan at the BLS office, handing in their paperwork, very happy, and hopefully they will have a quick visa. There we go. So how many people? We've got 4 people on. So if you're on, say hi. No comments yet. So yeah, that's our client photos. What's been happening with our clients out and about. We also got a report back from Shrody. Shrody, I'm going to use your YouTube name. And she said she went to London, and her report back was, well, that's all done. Had to wait a while as there was a huge amount of what I think were family, digital, or student applications. So when I went up with an NLV, I was directed to a supervisor to deal with. She said I had plenty of documentation as I had added the padron, cover letter, and house contract. She did iterate a couple of times it would be 3 months to come through, though I'm sure it will come through sooner. I do hope so, as it's costing me a fortune to stay here. Yeah, it does. The cost of living in Spain's gone up, but I believe in the UK it's more. She even changed my entry date from the 1st of February to the 1st of March. Oh, well, question, if my visa comes earlier than the 1st of March, does that have an impact on my next flight into Spain? I saw someone on Facebook say 3 days their visa came through. 3 days ago, sorry, that their visa came through in 3 weeks. Thanks for everything so far, Chris and Jane, of course. Right, so that brings me on, and I put this in at that point because that brings me on nicely to my next one, which, where are we? Anyway, we had a visa back from London from the 19th of December, and it came back, I think it was yesterday or the day before, so that's just under a month. So that was fantastic. That's the visa from London to Granada in a month. What isn't so fantastic is what's happening with Manchester at the moment. So just had my tea delivered. Thank you, Lara, for our Sticks Drive. I think keep. Cheers, everybody. Have a cup of tea there. I often enjoy a cup of tea, but it's nice on a Sunday evening, especially when it's cold. There you go. And if you have a cup of tea, it's better than having a vino tinto if you've got work the next day as well. And yeah, but Manchester, what's happening with Manchester at the moment? Apart from the fact that it's taking 14, 15 weeks for visas to come out, they just don't seem to be releasing them. This week, we've then had some what they call requirement letters after they've held the passports for 14 weeks and coming back to people asking them for financial proof of stability, even though people have submitted. I've gone through a video call and shown me what they've submitted, you know, and I know it's gone in. So whether they're doing that because they're taking so long to issue the visas, they're asking for financials because they would have been sat on it for 3 months and they want updated financials, I don't know, but they're not actually specifically saying updated financial documents. They just say prove that you're financially viable for the visa, where we know that they've handed the documents in. And in theory, the documents, as long as they're in date, bombed, and the day you hand it in, that's absolutely fine. So, but this seems to be happening at the moment. If this does happen to you, and you're going through Manchester, then don't panic. But what you will have to do is update your financial proof that you can support yourself, and they only give you 10 working days to do this. So we always say it's also a good idea to accompany it with a cover letter explaining exactly what you are presenting. So if you're presenting savings, it's best to take at least 6 months, and then if there's a large amount of money going in and out of the savings account, mainly in the savings account, then you need to prove where that's come from. For example, if it's a property sale, for example, then you will need to take a completion statement. If it's an inheritance, then take a will. It's always good to have the proof of the origin of the funds. So you really do need to not worry too much if you get one of these letters, but do update your documents as quickly as possible. And we also had one where they said send it directly back to the consulate, but the consulate also publish a postal address which is different to the consulate on their website, which is also very confusing. I would say If you are using printed documents, then it'd be best just to send it to both. Though if you could only send one, definitely send it to the postal address, which is stated on their website. So there you go. Hey Kevin, how you doing? I've got a comment from Kevin. Hi Chris, off to Valencia on Thursday to pick up our TIEs. Smiley face. Pics to follow. Hang on, I keep forgetting that I can actually do this. There we go. Cheers, Kevin. Yes, that's great. I hope it's been a good start to the new year for you as well. What's the weather like up there? Tell me. Is it as chilly as here? As you can see, we've got the fire pit going in the background there, and I'll be sat outside. I do like sitting outside around the fire pit, to be honest with you. We've got it going this evening. We had it going yesterday evening, and it's lovely to sit outside. It sounds a bit counterintuitive, doesn't it? Sitting outside and wrapping up warm around the fire pit, but it's definitely something I like doing. But yeah, thanks for that, and good luck with the pickup. I'm sure you'll looking forward to getting those photos. Hang on a minute, I'll widen this a bit. And what else have we got? And obviously then we'll look forward to doing your renewals. We've got you in the calendar as we do everybody else. And we've got a review here I just wanted to show you. Now we're just in the end stages of finishing the Simpson family's car registration, actually, but we did an NLV for 3 of them, and I just wanted to share this review with you guys. It says, so this is from Graham. It said, I was so impressed with the service provided by Upsticks. They did an amazing job of our application for an NLV. We could have not navigated our way through the application process without their help. Upsticks prepared the initial application on our behalf and advised us what information we were required to supply. They remained in constant touch with us throughout, as a certain amount of documents were time sensitive. Once all the information was gathered, we went off to the BLS office in London to submit the application. Due to Upsticks holding our hand throughout the whole process, all documents were accepted by the BLS, and we were lucky enough to receive our NLV visas 10 days later. That's true. That was a quick one, I remember. On arrival in Spain, Upsticks also accompanied us to the appointments at the police station in order to attain our residency cards. Now, what Graham didn't say there was, unfortunately, they had to go to 3 separate appointments in Almeria. It was such a tough time to get appointments in Almeria. So thanks, guys, for coming to 3 separate appointments. Upsticks also assisted us with the matriculation of our vehicle, and once again, their service was second to none. We very much look forward to using their services again when we apply for years 2, 3, and 3 of our NLV. Thank you, Chris, and all of his team behind the scenes who have enabled us to live our dream in Spain. Julie, Graham, and Dorothy. Thanks for that, guys. That was lovely. Those kind of reviews when we have them in the office are lovely, because it gives you a lot of what they say in Spanish, animo to crack on. Cracking day, although cold at night. Yep, same here. Yesterday was a cracking day, 23 degrees, and this morning I got up and it was one frost on the car. Went out to get some croissants in the morning. We've got a great bakery down the road, and it's nice to go and get some on a Sunday. Go and grab some croissants and have those for breakfast, but it was very cold. Then the last thing I've got to show you, which relates to visas and residency. So what have we got here? This is ePrem. Now, I've got a video about ePrem, so check it out on the channel if you want to know what it actually is. But you'll see there, as I've done my tea, that for 2025 at the moment, they have published that it's €600 as last year and the year before. That doesn't mean it wouldn't change, because they haven't published whether they're going to change it or not. They normally do it in the last quarter of the year, but we see that they've updated the website now to say 2025 600. They did this last year very early on. We then waited for the new figures to come out, and it turns out they didn't change it. So is this an indication that it's going to be the second year in a row that they're not going to change it? Let's see. But at the moment, if you're going for an NLV, you're going for any type of residency that depends on ePrem. Remember, for a single applicant in the consulates, it's 4 times ePrem annually. So that's €28,800. And for a couple, it's €36,000. So yeah, is that going to be an indication that this year they're not actually going to change it? Okay then, so what is going on with YouTube? Well, we've had some good comments. I picked the best ones, and I've got a lot to go through and answer, guys. To be honest, we've got a lot to answer. We had loads of comments, which is great. So thank you very much for that. I'm wholly grateful for all your comments, and I just wanted to show you this video first, though. Now, if you are interested in knowing our opinion, mine and Scats, and my opinion on the 100% property tax, which was announced by Sanchez last week, then check this video out on the U2 Spain channel. I'll put a link below as well. Basically, we unpacked all of the plan, not just 100% property tax, and just ran through the list of things that Sanchez said he was going to do, and then gave our opinion on all of those. And it was quite fun, actually. I quite enjoyed that, being a commentator for once, rather than just talking about residencies. It was a good video to be involved in, to be honest. And we might do some more of those. I'll ask Scat, see if there's any more newsy type videos that we can comment on, rather than just going on about residency all the time, and then LVs, etc. But yeah, I really enjoyed doing that video. And let's go to our comments, and in no particular order. I'm going to make sure I know where the videos have come from. Hang on a minute. Here we go. So let's start this. I did a video about the Brexit withdrawal agreement renewals in Spain, and because this year, now I've seen a couple of companies and people saying, right, you can start the renewal process 30 days before, and it's just a straight renewal at the police station, which is what I believe it's going to be. But there's been such divided opinions on the process and the requirements, to the point where the main office has told us this week that they believe you've got to apply for the renewal to the government first before you go to the police station, which would be huge. That would throw a huge spanner in the works. But we do have a meeting with them next week to find out if that is actually going to be true or not. Let's see. I'll check that video out if you are a withdrawal agreement beneficiary, and if you either swapped your green card for a TIE card, or you got a resolution and then got a green card. Then got your TIE card, then that definitely watch that video, and also stay tuned, because I'm going to have an update for that this week. And oh, here we go. Alan Kez. Hi guys, how you doing? I hope you're well. What's the weather like in France? Tell us. There we go. Don't worry about being late. I was late putting up the notification that I was actually going to do it, so I won't worry about that. And on the withdrawal agreement, Michael Saliba 1060. Michael works with Herbalife, actually, very successful Herbalife guy, along with Janet. Great to hear from you. We've been working together for a long time, and we'll be doing your renewal for you as well. Thanks, Chris. Brilliant info once again. Yep, we're looking forward to doing your renewal for you. And there we go. Just put another log on the fire. Well, I have to say, if you look outside, they've got a fire going there, and we've got one going on the inside as well for this evening. It's been very cold. And on the weekly update number 47, Sarah Cronshaw 3088. Glad you're on Spotify. I can listen whilst driving. That was the idea. So all of our podcasts are now going on to Spotify as well, because I do realize, I tell you where I got this idea from was I found a few podcasts on YouTube, which I like listening to, and I put them in the car. But every time someone calls on your phone, or it goes off, or something, it just completely goes off, and it's an absolute nightmare. Whereas Spotify seems to be a platform where you listen to music and podcasts, and it doesn't just go off. And doesn't give adverts at the moment, because we haven't monetized it. So If you prefer to listen to the podcast, which a lot of people do, then I'm uploading them all to Spotify at the moment. All you got to do is look for Upsticks Spain on Spotify. We've got 8 people on now. So for those of you who came in a bit late, we've just done the Spanish residency bit, but you can watch that back afterwards. So it won't be a problem. But yeah, so Spotify, check us out, Upsticks Spain. Please just give us a like or write a comment, because the more people that comment on it, the better. And for our next comment, we've got should supermarkets open on a Sunday in Spain? I did that a while ago, and Paul says my message to Spain is to keep Sunday special. There's nothing, we can't wait a day for a fresh bed is available at petrol stations. Couldn't agree more there, Paul, I have to say. I've been out a couple of times to the supermarket on a Sunday because we needed to go out, but was anybody going to die if I didn't? Not really. And as you say, fresh bread is available at the petrol stations. And like, for example, if you're my daughter, for example, okay, she loves fresh bread and good olive oil. That's it. Well, I think she'd even eat the rubbish olive oil, but fresh bread and olive oil, that's just amazing. Warm bread, olive oil, maybe a dash of salt on it. That's a meal on its own. You would be able to survive on that if you had nothing else on a Sunday. Trust me. And this is on our Brexit video again. Nikki, co-creator 7494. I sometimes just subscribe to all these guys' channels just because you are subscribing to us, and I think, you know, spread the love. Spain, 1 question, 10 different answers as usual. Yeah, at the moment we are getting 10 different answers for the withdrawal agreement renewals. And there's a lot of people who seem to think they have a definite answer, but then when we speak directly to the authorities, they don't have one themselves. So that's strange. We will find it out for you, though. And Paul also said, who commented on our last one, thanks for providing the clearest summary so far. That's great, Paul. Cheers. I'll hopefully get a clearer one for you this week as well. And here on our weekly update number 47, Kev the Argonaut, nobody from the UK will be doing capital investment for the visa in Spain going forward. Anyway, Chris, Rachel from accounts will be taking even more in taxes to pay for the increase in the government borrowing rates triggered by her astonishing policies. Well, let's see. It's quite funny because I'm going to talk about business first as well soon. And yeah, we were talking about that at our meeting, and afterwards I sat down and talked to another member, and I don't know, you know, I've seen so many crises in Spain. I mean, a lot of people now were going back to this announcement by Sanchez, the 100% tax. There's been the economic crisis. There was just everything going on. There's been terrorist attacks, the Ontiemi. There's been so many things, and it's never stopped people coming. There's been dips and troughs, but it's never stopped people coming. I can remember, I was going to say this on this last one here, Brexit withdrawal agreement. Wow, what a faff. I'm so glad they've granted Spanish citizenship post-Brexit. Yeah, that'll definitely stop any faffing for you. Just update your DNA card. I remember, believe it or not, when the peseta changed to the euro, because it happened officially really in 1999, but the actual monetary change didn't really happen till around 2001. And my first year and second year here, when they started the mint started kicking out the euros, used to have pockets full of pesetas and full of euros, because when I was doing things like phoning home, for example, I would have to use pesetas for the movie star phone. That was back way before we had smartphones and stuff, and you used to go and buy these cards off the lucky men and put the code, scratch it, put the code in, and stand on the street and phone your phone home and your family. And I can always remember having to have euros to go for a beer, and you'd have to have pesetas to phone your family, and that was 25 years ago. And everybody said that because of the increasing costs of the euro, everybody was going to abandon Spain. And that was my first experience of a crisis in Spain. I can tell you, it never happened. No one abandoned Spain, though it did get incredibly expensive once the euro came in. So what was 100 pesetas then became a euro, and it was 166 pesetas for the euro. So do the math, and you'll see that it's it got very expensive. So as an Irish person, I was sorry to see the UK. Oh, this is on my Brexit video again. Declan P. Bowles. As an Irish person, I was sorry to see the UK leave the EEC. The effect it has on young people and senior people, senior UK people, will be long-term hardship. Nigel Farage, I'm sure it's spelled Farage, isn't it? Or is it Farage? I don't know. And Boris Johnson should be ashamed of what they have done. Ireland is your neighbour, and we are looking from the outside at what's happening to the UK. Yeah, I mean, look, I don't want to get too political, but you know, and on it all. The other thing is, obviously, and I definitely consider myself as a European, always have done, and I've had the absolute pleasure of living in Spain for 25 years, and I was able just to up sticks and move, pun, to Spain without too much hassle at all, and now live here with my wife. We've been here for the best part of, I've been 25 years, she's been here 20 years, married for 16 years, got to get that right, and with two lovely kids, and it really was because we were in the European Union, and it wouldn't be that easy for someone else now. That said, we focused on the non-lucrative visa as soon as we saw that it was going to be a hard Brexit, and that's been a big part of our business. So, you know, there was an opportunity in Summit that initially I didn't agree with, but, you know, business is business, isn't it, I suppose? And I'm so happy that now we're 500 or 600 non-lucrative visas down the line. And we can say that they are working quite well. But yeah, and also the residency platforms are getting slightly more fluid, albeit the delays are the same. The actual process every year seems to get slightly better in terms of the online processes and the documents they accept. So yeah, but yeah, I agree. It's I don't know. Let's not get too political about it. There's loads more channels which talk about political stuff, so you can watch them. Hence why I also like to finish this quite early, because I do like to jump on and listen to Spain Speaks. That's one of my favourite channels, Stuart there. I don't think he watches our channel, to be fair, but I do like to jump on because he gives a great, give him a plug, a great rundown of the news. I think that's one of the best ones, really, and sometimes he's quite funny as well. And Kes said, we see you're rapidly approaching 4,000 subscribers. Yes, and thank you for my coffee. You bought me a coffee the other day, a big coffee you bought me the other day, and we will put that in the pot. And tomorrow I will be seeing Scats from U2 Spain because he has a hospital appointment, so I will be getting him breakfast with our coffee fund that is rapidly growing at the moment, and I keep it there for when anything YouTube, and if we're meeting anybody or anything breakfast. So thank you so much for that. And yet we're nearly at 4,000. It's 5,000 is the target for the year. Are we going to make it? Let's see. And what else have we got going on here with the comments? God, I've been waffling on for 27 minutes already, eh? Leave me something in the comments, guys. So Jamie Stevenson, hi Chris, great video as always. Got me thinking, for people like myself here on the NRV, what happens at the end of 5 years for the change to the tarjeta de larga duración? For example, there's some questions here. Will we need to wait until our final TIE, temporal notarizo de trabajo, expires before we can renew to need to complete the full 5 years to be eligible for the tarjeta de larga duración? Now, I believe, I have to look that up actually, to be honest with you, but I don't think you have to wait for your card to expire, as long as if the days that after before you submit your card wouldn't mean you've been over the 10 months. I'd never suggest that anybody leaves it that tight anyway. So say, for example, you apply for it 30 days before the expiry of the cards, and it turns out that even if you're out for those 30 days, it wouldn't make 10 months. I don't think that'd be a problem. I think you can do it 60 days before. If it turns out you're that tight, then I would definitely wait until you got to the point where you could prove that you hadn't been out for 10 months, i.e. that if the 2 months before which you have to apply for the card would have put you over the 10 months, and you have to wait until you hit that time frame as to when you wouldn't have done, if that makes sense. Will we need to go to subdelegation Mercurio for renewal straight to the CMP? It's subdelegation, I'm afraid, and they should already have full copies of your passport from the 2 renewals, and then you'll just have to complement that with another copy showing what you've done in the previous 2 years. But they should already have 3 years worth of passports to show if you've been out or not, because on the renewals, after year 1 you submit a copy of your passport, after year 3, and then at the final larga duración. Will financial requirements need to be demonstrated for the change to tarjeta de larga duración? In theory, no. Okay, now that doesn't mean you should go and spend all your money as soon as you get your year 3 approval, but in theory, no, it's not something they ask for. Hope that helps, Jamie. And we've got Robbo on. Robbo says, Buenas tardes. Robbo, I was just watching one of your shorts before we went live, and it reminded me I didn't do the petrol short. I have to apologize. I owe you a short, Robbo. I really do. I must have driven past it 5 times, but it's been a really busy start to the year, as January always is, really. So I have to apologize, and I promise that tomorrow I'm going to publish the petrol short and we can keep that going. Completely forgot until I've seen you jump on now. But great shorts, by the way. Your shorts are getting very good. Love seeing what's happening your way. And for our last comment, Gran Canaria Uncovered. Again, subscribe to your channel. Nice channel. Moved here in 2016 with my wife. Got green residency cards in 2017 and never changed anything after that. So we'll still have them. As I understand, the green card does not have an expiry date. Obviously, my residency is still valid as the government have no problem taking my autonomy, social security payment every month, and my IGIC tax return. I own a Canarian registered SL every quarter. And when something turns up in the post, I have to give my NI to receive the package as it still works. Is there a problem for us? No, there's not particularly a problem, but there's 2 things here. The first thing is you got your green card as a European, and even Europeans, albeit the card doesn't have an expiry on it, Europeans still have to, after 5 years, and they have to wait until the card has reached 5 years, get a permanent residency card. It doesn't have an expiry on it, which means you're going to have to calculate 5 years ahead to when you have to switch that for a permanent card. And Europeans actually have to prove their means to live and where they live, and they've got healthcare when they do the permanent switch here in Malaga anyway. What I would suggest is that you switch those to TIE cards as soon as possible, and you'll be given permanent TIE cards. I imagine you're still registered as residents on the system there, so it's going to be easier for you to travel. Soon with ETIAS and EES coming in, the TIE card is advised that you get one. So albeit you shouldn't have a problem, you definitely need to start looking at swapping that for a TIE card. Okay, and yeah, if for example there was any problems, you definitely could still declare your right within the withdrawal agreement if you've been working as an autonomo and you own a Canarian registered SL. I wouldn't imagine that'd be too hard. So no, you haven't got a problem, but the action I would take would be to definitely get your TIE card. And from Robert Cepledo, gone up diesel now at 138, gone up twice since January. Okay, we'll have to check that out. I'm going to go tomorrow. Go see Scats tomorrow, and I will check that out. And that is it for the YouTube comments. So now we're going to go on to our Spain section. And now for the Spain section. Now this is the title of our video today, and I wanted to show you this photo here. And this is Sam Campbell from Sam Campbell Insurance, and Sam is our fearless leader. She's also an insurance agent as well here in the Costa del Sol. She's extremely busy, extremely efficient, and doing a great job. But she's also our fearless leader at Business First. Now, Business First is a networking group on the Costa del Sol who now have 4 groups. So I'm not too sure when Sam actually sleeps, to be honest with you, with everything she's got going on. But it's amazing to keep these groups going. And I'd imagine it's not very easy work keeping us all under control, the various businesses which are in the groups. But there are groups in Fingerola, in Mijas, in Marbella, and now in Estepona. And we celebrated 16 years of Business First, of which we have been members for nearly 5 now, I believe. And it's a great group of businesses, I have to say. If you are running a business on the Costa del Sol and you're looking to expand your network, then come along. But you have to come along as my guest, because then I get kudos for bringing a guest along with me. And if you're, it's just, but you know, jokes aside, even if it's not for referrals, it's to support your business with other good businesses on the coast, which is sometimes hard to find. It is a great place to go, and it's a nice breakfast. And let's be honest, it's a morning out of the office as well, isn't it? So, and we had some lovely cupcakes to celebrate the 16th anniversary the other day. They're bought by Sam and made by one of the Business First members. So, thanks, Sam. It's a tireless job, I'd imagine, keeping all the businesses under control, all the last-minute cancellations, etc., for the meetings. But it is a lot of fun, I have to say. I really enjoy it. I was introduced to the group by Jeremy Ferguson, our IFA. And ever since then, it's been brilliant. Obviously, worked with Jeremy for a long time, but it's a fun. There's a presentations every time, and we always have a great Christmas do. And we also have this. Yes, our Business First Charity Golf Day on the 31st of January in the Santa Clara Golf Club. I'm one of the sponsors. Well, we are one of the sponsors up Sticks. If you fancy coming along supporting charity and playing golf, then please check out the details here. Again, I'll put the details below. You can just go to the WhatsApp number there, 711-052-483, and just drop a WhatsApp across, show your interest. And it's all for a good cause. And then there's a meal afterwards, which is €30 a head, I believe. And it all goes to charity. So any profit at all goes to charity. And I have to say, it's a very, very good afternoon out. Sadly, this year, I won't be playing golf. I didn't play last year because I'm naff and I wanted to practice. This year, I'll break my arm, so I can't swing a golf club. So next year, there's going to be no excuse as to why I'm not playing. And I've still got 8 people on, so drop me your comments down and let me know what's going on your end. Anke said, Anke, diesel 168 here. Wow. There you go. So diesel is 30 cents more expensive in France. Well, there you go. And Robert said, where's his, mate? Yeah, it's France, that is. So more importantly, so what's the price of an average, should we say, decent bottle of wine? Now, I know here in Spain you can start at €1 and go to 10,000 if you want. But if you were to spend between €5 and €10 here, it wouldn't be too naff. If you were to go 10 to 20, looking at a decent bottle of wine, and then you've got to know your stuff after €20 because that's when it starts to get silly. But let us know. Let us know. Obviously, you're in a wine region there, so it'd be nice to know. And talking about regions, I wanted to show you this. That's frost. That's the 3rd time this year now. We've never had 3 in 1 year. And I have to say, it was very cold. There you go. You can see I've got the heater on in the car in the background, the little Upsticks Drive car, because that's one I was using. And it wasn't one of those frosts which you could just rub off with your finger this time. This went down to, you can see here, this frost was actually at 4 degrees, right? But it was 1 degree when I, there you go, 1 degree when I went out this morning. So, yeah, it's very, very cold, very, very cold, I'm afraid, these last few days. But that hasn't affected this. Now, last week I told you I've started my allotment again, one of my hobbies which I've abandoned for a couple of years. I used to have an allotment, now I'm doing one at home. And just wanted to show you the progress of the allotment, which isn't an awful lot. Well, the progress is an orange fell in the middle. But apart from that, Not a lot. You can see the onions have not died off though. Those little green sprig things, they're onions, and no broad beans have come through yet. Right, so there you go. There's the progress for after a week. Here you can see though, even with the frost, you can see that the red cabbage and the broccolis and the cauliflowers have not died off. So that's great. They didn't die with the frost, but they're not really doing an awful lot at the moment. And on the left there, you can see I've planted a new row, and they're called cogollitos. So they're those really small, tight lettuces that you get. And let's see how they go. They were planted earlier on today. And just to show you the latest update here, we've got, this is my new lettuce patch. Okay, now you wouldn't see it there really, but I've planted we've planted, because Isla was with me this morning when we went out to buy all this. 5 different varieties of lettuces. We've got Robley, which is the rustic one, the Malaga one, and we've also got a curly leaf one, and we also have these thing called acelgas, which is chard, which we've sort of scattered around the middle, because chard gets really big, but then you just keep cutting it off and it keeps reproducing. Like a lettuce you would generally pick, though the guy was telling me today to not pick it, to just cut it at the base, let it come back and grow again. So that's a good tip. Apparently I've never done that, and we just pick mine, eat them and replant. So there you go. But they should be ready in around a month. All right, they should be ready in around a month, those lettuces, and the chard will go until summer, hopefully. So there's your huerto, which means allotment update. Oh, and we've got some comments going on here. Robbo and Anton Kez. There you go. You can drive past Robbo and say next winter when you come down, you can say hi. Little Ganache, or the Ganacha. Now 189 is really nice wine. I like a Ganacha. I think it's slightly stronger, but I do like a Ganacha. I really do. Certainly wouldn't take the enamel off your teeth. That's cool. I'll have to check that out then. The 189 wine. We've got Lara's birthday party next week. I might have to get some of that in for that. And Annika says, if we spent more than €5, we'd be upset. Okay, if pushing boat out of 10, another course in restaurants, of course. What is, okay, here's a question then for you guys. So it sounds pretty much like here then. You can go from like €1 to up to 10 would be pushing the boat out. That'd be a nice bottle for us on a Friday as well, to be honest with you. There's one that I like, which is called Habla de Silencio, which sometimes we'll go for, and I said €9 one for a Friday. And as Kese, Misty Ped, of course, another story in restaurants 3 or 4 times. Well, it's not like that in Spain, guys. We reckon there's normally a 50 to 60% markup. So if there's a bottle which is €8, you could pay anything up to 20 for it in a restaurant, but it's definitely not 3 or 4 times. Not 3 or 4 times. And we found also the more expensive you go, the less the markup seems to be. So yeah, that's interesting. Right, so we've been rambling on now for the best part of 43 minutes. So I'm just going to show you this last thing that's happening in Malaga, and it is the Prodigy are coming to Malaga. I am over the moon because I love the Prodigy. I've loved them ever since I was a teenager in the 90s, and they are coming to Malaga. So for me, I think I've already told you this, but I'll probably be telling you this every week. For me to see this poster on the side of a bus stop in Alarin was amazing, and I already have my tickets. And believe it or not, I already have my tickets to go and see a DJ called Carl Cox as well, because Carl Cox has been around ever since I was a teenager as well, and he's now 64, and you never know, do you, when they're going to give up. So he's coming to the same place as well. So you will see some of my daddy dancing, busting a groove at those 2 events in summer, probably with a dodgy arm. That will be funny to see. We'll get a video. All right, guys. Well, look, thanks for watching. And still got 6 of you on, and 44 minutes in. I've been waffling on for long enough. Hopefully, if you weren't with us at the beginning, I strongly suggest that you watch the start of the video when it was light, because you will see some funny action from our nanny Olive there, who didn't realize I was live, so started banging on the window. Definitely look back and watch that. And we will be back with more videos during the week, and our weekly update number 49 next Sunday around 6:30. See you again.